Jeannie, before you got married, did you ask another couple questions about married life, like what it was going to be like and what it was like planning their wedding? Or were you just in your own head and you had a vision and you went forward?
So I didn't really ask couples about married life. I guess you'd think that I would, but you know what? The reason why I didn't was because I was with John, living with him already for about 4 years. So for me, yeah, we were living together. So for me, it's like, all right. I mean, but marriage changes things. I really, regardless, you can live with someone for 10 years. I still feel like it changes things, but maybe not as dramatic. I'm only speaking from my own experience, and I'm assuming here, but maybe not as dramatic as somebody that did not live together at all. I have friends that didn't live together at all, and then they got married, and they went through like the ups and downs and trials and tribulations and little getting to know each other and arguments and all that kind of stuff. Probably like that first year and two that I was with my husband, before. So I think it's like the whole just kind of getting together and learning how to coexist in a space.
Yeah. And then
right?
You do
Am I
it
right,
all
guys?
over again. You do it all over again when you have a baby. It's like now you have to learn to live with this other human in the house.
Yes.
It's not just you anymore.
Yes. My best friend got me a book when I got pregnant. I mean, my husband, it's a joke. He laughs, but it's like how to not hate your husband when you have kids. And then his friend got him something similar, like how to not.
Didn't I give you that book?
Was that you?
I think it was me. Yes.
That is so funny.
I was in the city and it was at a thrift shop and I saw it and I remember I took a picture and I was like, I'm getting this for you.
That is so great. I love it.
Because you had
like,
just had Johnny. You had
Yes.
just had Johnny. You weren't sleeping and I'm like, this is just perfect.
Yeah. I mean, sleep deprivation, not good. But yeah. So
That's
at the end of the day, it makes it, I'm not trying to sound corny when I say this, but longevity, time together, going through those ups and downs make a relationship stronger. They just
100%.
do. They just do. You see a person at their best and their worst, and you stick it through, and you love them even more. I feel, at least that's my experience. But
that's beautiful.
So how about you? Same question back at you.
Yeah. So Catholic mass. You also Catholic. You went through pre-Cana.
Yes.
And you meet with an older married couple, like older than dirt, and they go through what married life is going to be like. And they're asking you things like, well, who's going to walk the dog? And who's going to get up in the morning first? Who will make the bed? Like these questions that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
There were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions that we had to both answer.
Oh,
and
yes. Yes, you told me this is like
pre-Cana.
therapy. Yeah.
And we would have to go to their house every Tuesday, and getting Frank to go was like forcing him to go. But we had fun with it. And then everything's done on a Scantron, and then they compare your answers, in our next meeting, saying, well, Natasha, on the question involving grocery shopping, you answered A. Frank, you answered B.
Oh my God! See, I feel like this would start a fight. I feel like it'd make me want to kill John. Like if imagine you didn't get like you thought he was gonna respond one way, and then I would be like pissed off on the way home in the car.
Right? And but here's the thing: is I feel like it was cathartic because having gone through that process,
yes,
we were in such a good place. We were like,
you learn.
We mostly did agree on most things, and the things that we disagreed on, it was an opportunity to flush it out before walking down the aisle and discussing it. So you didn't marry the wrong person. You really got everything out in the open, like your dirty laundry sort of thing. So I thought it was helpful. So Daniel and Marianna, they're a couple who hired Live Picture Studios to capture their wedding, and we are going to talk to them about their wedding experience with us and in general, and of course married life. We're dying to know.
Yes.
Welcome to our podcast. So you're engaged.
Now what?
Our guests today, Daniel and Marianna. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining in your lockdown quarantine months that you've had.
So I think I asked you guys before. I was starting to get into it a little bit, but give us a little bit of your history. Tell us, how long you've been together, when you got engaged, all these types of things.
Sure. So we met at church in Hillsborough. Friends for a little bit, and then he proposed to me July 28th, 2018. He did a really nice, cute picnic proposal for me. He had a puzzle that he put together that we did together on the picnic, and it said, "Will you marry me?" Once I put all the pieces together. So it
cute,
was sweet.
Good job, Daniel.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Really clever.
Planning, but turned out well.
Really good job. So we were engaged for about a year, and then we got married September 15th, 2019. So
how was the engagement?
Engagement was good. Most of the time we were planning. Because I think for both of us, we needed like at least a year to kind of get ourselves ready to plan for the wedding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's naturally a planner. I mean, it goes right up her alley with her as in HR. So
I have to say, so we work with so many different couples, and I remember bits and pieces from each of our couples, but I remember almost everything about the two of you. You guys,
awesome.
You guys came to us with such
you made an impression.
You made an impression.
We had spreadsheets. We had Google Docs.
They really did. And here's the thing:
cute.
They had
so detailed.
Exact vision.
Yeah,
like it was. This is what we want. Are you able to execute this for us? Because if you are, then I think it's going to be a good fit. And if not, then no. Usually couples come to us not knowing. They see our work, they're attracted to it, and then they want to have a conversation about it. Right. But you guys had this vision of your wedding, and it was like crystal clear. There was no gray area.
Yeah. So, I love the "can you do this" couples.
Yeah.
I do. I label you guys as "can you do this." It's the best. I love it. It's the best because it just makes it just organizes it so much better, and you know exactly kind of the road you're going to take.
Exactly. Cool. And we've been to so many weddings, both in our culture as Egyptians and outside our culture. So we've always picked up on things that, that's nice. Yeah, that maybe we should stay away from that.
Oh, you learn. Yeah.
Exactly. Mental notes. And actually during our engagement period, that's when we actually kind of put more focus towards that, to kind of looking at like what the pros and, cons of certain things, of timing, of schedules and all that. And that helped big time.
Mm-hmm. Marianna, are you a teacher or is someone a teacher?
No. I'm
sorry. That was a random question. I usually all of these awesome planners like that I come across are like teachers. I don't know if that means something.
Did you see like Jean stood up a little bit? Like she's a former teacher. And so
I was like, she's Google Docs. I got really excited there for like a second.
So organized. She's the most organized person that I know. And so I think it's like you're speaking her language.
I get a thrill over like, just like, yeah. Google Docs. Spreadsheets. Sorry, continue, please.
Weddings in general, you have to be organized.
Oh my God, yeah.
It just helped us tremendously.
Yes.
We track, the conversations we've had. What do we really want? And he's really good with reporting. So he kind of helped make all those charts that you saw and the graphs. That was all him. So,
because in my mind, I'm thinking like, all right, we need to be efficient. We need to keep the cost down as much as we can, because you know how weddings can get expensive. Mm-hmm. So better to plan than to, kind of bite the bullet later. That was kind of my approach.
That's exactly right. So I'm curious how, the two became one in terms of, not marriage, but the wedding day in particular. Did you each you obviously had an idea of what your wedding would be. And, Daniel, for you, it's great because you were involved in every little thing, which is kind of rare. Usually it's the bride's show, right, and you're invited.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So you were very much involved, and it really was a team effort. Yeah. So can you talk to us a little bit about that and how you brought it together?
I mean, sure. I guess my perspective or my approach to the whole thing is, we're going to be married for life. We're going to be one team, and you can't have half the team pick up the weight before marriage. So you might as well, jump into it, both feet in kind of thing. And I wanted to help her, honestly. That was my biggest thing, is I'm just trying to make things easier for her, because I know how much stress it is on a bride to try to plan a wedding and all that. So, and I have a vision too. So it was great collaborating with Marianna on matching up everything we had in mind. Mm-hmm. So that was my main thing, is trying to help her as much as I can.
He really.
That's so. It's so cool that you said that, Daniel, too, because it's a kind of a correlation to like, life after the wedding, marriage in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you work on a project together, you work on something big together. And I have always found, well, you naturally fall into a place where you realize each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
And to date now, I always know the things I want my husband to do. And he always kind of asks me to handle certain things. Now we don't even talk about it anymore. It's almost like an unconscious thing, but it works. It just kind of goes together really, really well.
Right.
And that starts with wedding planning.
Yes.
It really does. It's the biggest party, unless we win lotto, that we're probably going to be planning. So, right?
Yeah. That was the first time I've heard somebody talk about it that way, that, you're here to support. It is a marriage already, because you're getting ready for your marriage, and that's not fair to give her all of the responsibilities.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure other couples are different, because, there's a lot of brides out there that want a yes man that is like, okay, honey, like, you want the shoes, get the shoes, you're all set,
Yeah.
But not Daniel. Daniel's like, let's get the spreadsheet out.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you need those shoes, or are we going to get the best shoes from this?
Exactly.
You're very much involved, which was great.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So was planning ever stressful for you?
I mean, I think for both of us, that there were a few moments where it's like, all right, well, we need to kind of wrap our head around this, whether it was the florist or what have you, or especially the guest list. I mean, that's something. Yeah.
And you had a pretty big wedding.
Yeah, we had about 300 plus. So it was.
Oh my God.
Wedding. And
how do you guys know that many people?
I don't know. I mean, I know I'm friendly, but I don't think that much. We also have big families, so that's a big part of
that
it.
adds to it.
And a big church community too.
Yes, absolutely. So, like, I guess for the seating chart, trying to figure out who to put with who, work friends with, people from church and people from just people we know, our neighbors or whoever, was tough. I think that was the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I want to say on a stress level, I think it was like a 2 or a 3 if we were on one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like most things, if you're organized and you have
that's
it together,
the key. Yeah.
Then I think it minimizes the stress with anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you say was the most unique thing about your wedding?
I would say we had a live painter at the wedding.
Oh yeah. My friend did it. It's so cool.
Oh, we
It's
loved
so
it.
cool.
He was awesome. He did a really great job. It was kind of our way of entertainment for the guests as well. So he painted our first dance together, and we had the bridal party in the painting as well, and our family in the painting. So now we have it hung up in our home. So it's always.
I love it.
You guys have to snap a picture and.
I know. I was gonna say I want to see it.
Definitely, you got it.
And they finish it that night. Right?
So they
I think
during the wedding, and then they took it to the studio and finished it up.
Kind of okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. And they get there early, and they create the room, right? And then they put in
faces and all that later.
Yeah, the faces as you're coming in.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about the planning? I guess that's probably since it was minimal stress. Then what was the best part of it for you guys?
I think for me specifically, what I really enjoyed about planning, even though I already like to plan, was the fact that I could spend more time with Daniel and get to know him. Because like we were saying earlier, it's so important that we're both on the same page prior to the wedding, and being able to work together and learn about each other was the biggest thing for me. And I think that I learned so much about him, where he's actually a planner too, and he's super organized. So to me, I was like, yes, it's a key.
Yes, that is a score. Yeah, no, it totally is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Jeannie? Like she shifted a little bit.
I
She
did.
got excited.
I did. I got excited. I love it.
Yeah.
Because my husband's so organized too. I mean, he's a teacher. There you go.
That's awesome.
So
There you go.
Yes. And it's a thrill personally for me. But it does make things easier. Okay, I'm obsessed with organizing. Let's keep it going. Sorry, guys.
So let's talk about the day. So you were super organized. Planning wasn't too stressful. It was just, organizing the planning or the seating chart. But then the actual day, was it, people pull up weddings to be, it was the best day of our lives until their babies are born. And then it's like, that was the best day of my life.
Yeah.
So honestly, was your wedding day the best day of your life? Was it everything that you had hoped for?
Hands down.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. It was
Yay.
the most perfect day. Just going through the whole wedding day, obviously we heard lots of advice, and the biggest advice that we heard was, try your best to remember the day, and remember the people who came, and let go of the little things that happen, because at the end of the day, you're marrying the person you're spending your life with. So that's what we were really trying to mentally think in that way going into the wedding. And it really helped us, because I don't think talking after, we weren't stressed the day of the wedding. We were relaxed. We knew everything was going to be taken care of. So
that's so nice.
And honestly, like if from our perspective as the bride and the groom, every little detail that you plan ahead, you kind of want to see it unfold during the whole day.
So that has to be so exciting.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously a couple things could have maybe gone better, but in terms from our guest perspective, they didn't even notice anything. So we're like,
Sure.
okay,
right,
maybe we're dwelling too much into the
too much on the little things.
Yeah, that's like anyone who does shows, you perform and in your mind it was disaster.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then the audience they didn't notice a thing. They're like, that was great.
Standing ovation.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
The best wedding I've ever been to. And we're like, okay. Great. That's what we.
I mean, was it a fun wedding?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
I had so much fun.
Talking about the uniqueness, we wanted a kind of a dramatic entrance to everything. So we had sparklers. We had the dancing on the clouds. We had a drummer come in and perform some of the songs along with the beat of the DJ.
I love that. Talk to us about the drummer. What kind of
go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. The drummer was great. So he played mainly the Arabic songs or Spanish music, but he was very good with some of the English beats as well, very light beats. So it added another element to the whole dancing kind of feel, or just the enjoyment for our guests. Even a couple guests started playing the drums with him, which was was fun to see.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Was he stationed, or did he kind of walk and weave throughout?
He walked. He had a strap to the drum, and he walked around.
Love it.
Communicated.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's just it adds such a vibe to the wedding, where all of a sudden it just has this. I have to say it makes it a little bit more unrefined. Yeah. And more just like take your, loosen up your top buttons and roll your sleeves up. And now it's just more of like a party and everybody's having fun.
Yeah. Some people took that literally. They unbuttoned.
Like that's a party. I think of like the funnest weddings I've been to, shoes are off. They're under the table somewhere. And like, sleeves are rolled up, jackets are left on the table, and everybody's just like loving and having a great time.
You need to. I mean, how many brides give out flip-flops? They just get tubs of them because it's like, all right, enough. We had like the formal, awesome ceremony. Now we're just gonna go nuts.
That's right. Although flip-flops are like the worst to dance in. Have you ever tried to dance in flip-flops?
I've never. I don't think
it's like if you dance,
it does hurt the toe.
Your feet.
Yes.
You will stub your toe, you will lose a flip-flop, you can't turn. Like it's just
all right. Note to brides who are listening, ballet flats. You heard
ballet flats, that's right.
Right?
So
Etsy.
anything that you guys would change if you were to redo the process?
Honestly, for me, not a thing.
I think so.
I mean, I think that goes with everything in life. I think you prepare as much as you can. You do your own kind of part, and then just whatever happens.
Let it be. Yeah.
And I think that there's beauty behind that. I think that's the best things in life is that you go in with 100% effort and everything you plan, and then whatever happens, and then there's always silver linings that you could learn from everything. So I think that was.
I'm learning that too. I agree with that. If you put your all into something, I don't know. Somehow it's like it's not, you gave everything to it,
Exactly.
and then you have to, like what you were saying earlier, Marianna, kind of about, you go into this and you just have to let it go. You've done it all. You enjoy the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
People some couples, they get hung up on these little things. Why let something like that ruin your day?
It doesn't, exactly. And it just ruins the entire day, like you're saying, because you're stuck thinking about it all day and you forget the real reason why you're having this day.
You forget the real reason. That's exactly right. And there's fights about, disagreements, and stress causes fights. And then you get to the wedding day and you're like, I'm sorry.
How important was this for you guys to book right away? Like, in what order did you actually secure things when you guys were planning?
I believe this was the first thing we secured. Before our floors, before the venue, before everything.
Wait, before the venue, you secured us?
Yeah. That was
because we were in the process of looking at venues, but we knew for a fact that we needed to have photography and videography. So right away, you guys were the first person we called. LPS.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was sometime in actually end of 2018.
Yeah.
That's right.
We did this. I think that was the first thing we wanted to knock off is, who can best capture our day so that not only we can remember it, but, our kids and our guests and everyone else can also join in on the fun.
The heirloom.
Yeah.
And for everybody who's listening, Daniel and Marianna are Coptic Orthodox.
Exactly.
So their ceremony is if you're not familiar with the ceremony, it's a very specific type of ceremony. It's archaic. It has not evolved through the years. Jean and I had the pleasure of attending a Coptic wedding, a couple of ours that got married. We were asking questions about some of the rituals that happened during the ceremony. They were like, well, you just need to come and see for yourself, because a video gives us a good amount, but there's nothing like being there in person and watching it. So it was very important to them to work with a team that was very familiar with their church, with the way it's shot, because there is a lot of business that goes on. There are no vows, but there are, they become the king and the queen of their household, we've learned. So you're given crowns and capes during the ceremony. So it was really educational. If you're ever invited to a Coptic wedding and you're not Coptic, wear comfortable shoes, because you stand. It's an hour and a half ceremony, right?
Yeah.
And you
sometimes
stand,
longer, right?
I'm sorry?
Sometimes it could
longer,
be
I
longer,
think.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, depending.
So it could go anywhere from an hour and a half to actually some people have liturgies, like a whole mass, and that they incorporate the wedding in it. So it could be up to 3 hours for some people.
And do you guys know the priests? Like do you know them personally?
Yeah. I mean, they're the priests of our own church that we attend, so we're very close with them. Actually, both of one of them, one of our fathers is actually our father of confession. So he's our go-to priest for anything. So
that's nice.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
So there's a lot of also for the guests standing up. Like 95% of it, you're standing.
Yeah,
That's why I say wear comfortable shoes, because just when you think you're sitting down, you pop right back up. So I almost feel like that needs to be a disclaimer on your invite,
Right.
FYI, you're going to be standing the whole time. So,
yes.
But how beautiful was it to see something that was like preserved?
Yeah.
Completely preserved, and not I feel like we wash things away to make them more palatable for the audience.
Right.
And it was kept in its pristine form, really.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably butchering it. You can speak a lot better than I can, but that was my impression.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing about, our faith. It's an apostolic faith, so it's being passed down from one generation to the next. And that's how weddings have been held ever since, back in the day, way when the church was instituted. So so that was really important to us, obviously, to capture those moments, all the commands and the canons that we're making before each other and obviously before God. So that was a big thing for us.
And you guys had a same day edit, which we're going to go into in just a second, which means, Natasha, you were their producer, really, but I would assume you guys had at least 3 cameras, right, at this wedding?
I think we had 4.
Oh yeah,
4.
they had. What did you say? Go big or go home?
Yeah.
If
Exactly.
Listen.
If there was a service that we offered, they had the service as part of their wedding. Yeah. So it was a spectacular show.
And you know what? I have to say too, for if anybody's listening that, you know, anybody from this community, because I'm actually working with a couple right now, and they booked 3 operators, and which I think is still pretty solid, but they're considering the 4th. I'm pushing that. And how you guys can attest to that. How important is that?
I think it's a big deal. I think
the intricacies. You guys have so many different things going on.
Yeah, and we also had the drone as part of the whole image. So even in the same day edit, you got to see an overview of the church and overview of which was a really cool perspective for sure.
That's right. And your church from above really lent itself to those drone shots.
Oh yeah.
As well. I always say the drone it's not for everybody, because some of these gorgeous venues in Jersey are on parking lots, and it just, it doesn't do it justice. But you guys, with your locations, it really showed it off.
But the cameras for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like pieces of a puzzle, just adding more of that in.
Exactly.
That's how I envision it.
Like we had I think one of the cameras was up on the 2nd level. So it got a completely different perspective, especially when we were wearing our crowns and our capes, and the priests and the guests. It was a whole different angle, and it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah,
so.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for that. I'm glad we were able to pull that off for you.
Yeah, you guys did everything. You were above and beyond.
And you guys knew that you were interested in working with us. You said we were like the first call. So how did that come about? Like, how did you hear of us, and how did you know?
Right.
Or did you know, and it was first starting as a conversation, and then it went your way, and so it it was a good fit, and then you decided.
Definitely heard of you guys before. Before we were saying, we've been to so many weddings, and we've seen your work from our friends and people that we knew from our church also use you guys. So overall, we knew the quality was going to be fantastic. So it was a no-brainer for us. Yeah. And then having the conversation from the get-go was it seemed like it was just meant to be.
Yeah, it felt very natural, honestly.
That's great.
So.
And you did a same day edit, which is a highlight that's produced the day of the wedding. So
oh my God, we'll play it after the podcast.
Yeah, it's a showstopper where everybody sits down during dessert and they get to see the footage from the day. And there's were there tears involved with your guests?
Tears for me.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it was Mark did a great job. It was beautiful.
We actually got on a call with Mark before our wedding just to kind of hash out. We'd like this moment captured and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But just to see it come to life and him kind of seeing our perspective was insane to see. I thought that was really cool. I was like, why is Mark mind reading?
That's so sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mark is
he's very talented.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and he said specifically
talented.
He was like so connected to your same day edit. He loved it and was very happy.
You could tell. You can just tell how it's put together. It's perfect.
Yeah,
that's right.
It is.
Now photography. So you knew videography, photography. Mm-hmm. Talk to us about the lead photographer and what that experience was like, and who you worked with.
Right. So we worked with Carlos and Maria. Those were our photographers.
Dream team.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we found Carlos out just by looking at his portfolio on the website. And we really liked his use of, light and kind of getting those raw moments was pretty cool. And Marianna's big thing was trying to get a kind of very classy kind of look to the wedding.
Yeah.
And I think Carlos did a masterful job of trying to get.
I love how he works with light.
Yeah, for sure.
His use of hard light, it's so nice.
Yeah, that's right. It's not your typical wedding lighting. It's more sultry. Mm-hmm. It has a dramatic quality about it.
Yeah.
And he has an elegance to his work as well. That is exactly what you're describing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly. And that was the big thing. So once we, kind of made our mind on kind of going with Carlos, I believe the second photographer was assigned to us. And then we found out that Maria is also a lead in her own perspective. So we were
That's right. I'll correct you. It's Mariah.
Mariah. Okay.
Yeah, for our couples who are working with us, super, super romantic in her work. Everything is like it oozes energy and action and this romance feel.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the shots she got when we were preparing of the shoes, the watch, the rings, with the background and the lighting, it was insane. It was really, really, really like just well detailed.
Yeah, great.
She's so knowledgeable. I love asking her questions myself. She's like, it's like reading out of a textbook.
Yeah.
When I speak to her about photography, she's amazing.
Yeah,
that's right. So and very giving of her time. Like she'll talk and explain something as long as it needs. Really,
true dream team.
Yeah. So, any advice that you would give to couples?
I think the most important thing is, of course, the planning is an obvious answer and everybody knows you have to plan. But I think overall, when it comes to, you're getting married and you're getting ready to plan your wedding, is to not let so many of the small things be big things. It's always good to remember the meaning of why you're getting married and the excitement that comes from, learning about each other and knowing that you're going to be spending your life with this person. And I think that's what helped both of us. I was in school at the same time as planning this wedding. So that's why he was really, really involved in helping relieve the stress of finishing up school and then also getting, the wedding planning ready. But I think the most important thing is to not let, small things get in the way and to let it go and continue to move on, plan, do your part, and just let it be the day of. And everything will work, better than you think it will be. And you want to look back at this day and remembering it being a very happy, joyous day. And I think for us both, whenever we look at the pictures, or we look at the videos, we're like, oh my gosh, I remember that. And it's just, it brings back, happy feelings. And that's what every bride and groom should feel when they look back at the pictures and the videos and know that everything worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do you guys look at your album or your video?
Well, we have the link, so we still have work to do.
Oh, that's right. Joe told me. He found out that you guys were coming on, and he goes, I forgot. Remind them they need to approve.
Yeah. We got to work on that.
It's not an easy thing to do,
There's so many good pictures and which one we love the most. But we watch the video all the time, so we're trying to just get that nailed down together. But there aren't many.
And your regular edit is as well, right? You need to approve that.
Yeah. But that's farther along than you think.
Okay, good.
In our defense.
Awesome. Well, we have actually changed our processes, which you're a part of. It happened before you guys came aboard. But at LPS, we try to do as much of the work before the wedding happens, like choosing the song. I mean, you guys were a same day edit, but for a highlight, we try to choose the song before the wedding. We actually pick your photos for you, all of the enhancements. They're just suggestions, like clients always have the final say. But we always feel like showing you everything, like this is the final product, this is what it's going to look like, is way more efficient. Yes. So, things are typically pretty snappy.
Yeah.
So... But it's hard because life sets in and married life and
6 months. It took me 6 monms
to get it together.
To get myself together because I was before you guys, way before. So I was like, I cannot do this. It's overwhelming.
Well, we put in that timeline, so we're good.
Yes.
And now, married life. You guys are quarantined together. Marianna's baking up a storm.
Yes.
Apparently, she's a brilliant. She's pastry chef in her future or her own cookie business.
Yes.
Daniel was bragging about how good she's gotten.
Yeah. My wallet has gotten skinnier, but my bigger. So.
And what are you doing to keep busy in quarantine life, Daniel?
Honestly, our puppy is,
Oh, you had a puppy.
Yeah. We have
like a baby.
Yeah.
Where is he or she?
Here, come here, Leah.
Leah?
Leo.
Leo?
This is our puppy.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, so
stop it.
Walking him, feeding him, making.
What kind of pup?
He's a toy poodle.
Oh, is he cute?
Yeah.
And he has this like copper red.
Yeah.
Just so cute. So how big will he get?
Around 9 or 10 pounds, but not too big size wise.
And where is he now? Like, how much does he weigh now?
He's around 6 pounds. So he's
almost there.
Months.
Yeah.
To get to full size around 9 or 10 months.
So now you guys are taking care of a puppy, which is honestly, they're like babies.
Yeah,
it keeps you busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Natasha just adopted a dog too, Sadie.
We did.
Wow.
Sadie.
Awesome.
She's much bigger. She's a Rhodesian Ridgeback and Greyhound mix.
Oh, wow.
So, and she's so smart. She's smarter than all of us put together.
Yeah.
In the house.
Smarter than me. I'm like, wait, what?
That's right. But she's moved right in. The first few weeks, she was, taking her time, getting to know us. It was like almost like an arranged marriage is how I described it. Going like, somebody asked me, "Oh, does she like ice water?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'll find out. I'll see. But she was getting to know us. We were getting to know her. And then it was like, they say it takes about 3 weeks for a dog to really sort of get comfortable. And it was like the 3-week mark. She was like, "Don't mind if I do." And she just moved right in, and it's basically we work for her now.
So cute.
Our work schedules go around his time, not the other way around. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I can't thank you enough for, first of all, being part of the family.
Yes.
You guys are part of the LPS family, and
happy to be part of it.
And carrying this on, and coming onto our podcast, and
really,
we
much appreciated.
Truly appreciate you guys, taking time out of your day and coming on with us.
No, we appreciate you guys having us. I mean,
thank you.
Any advice or any kind of help anybody can look for, we're happy to give it. So
awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, newlyweds. It is still new.
Yeah, fairly.
I consider that to be, I don't know, right? Like a year and a half, I think is like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At least a year, I would say. Especially because you guys, you waited to move in until the wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Right after.
So that was, that was definitely a huge change. I would think that takes a year to.
Definitely.
We've set it in stone. Newlyweds, it takes 1 year.
Yes.
To get acquainted.
Yes.
Right.
And then the newlywed period is over.
Yes. Yes.
But we still learn something new about each other every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And that will never end, actually, which is a nice thing.
Keep it fresh.
Yep. Exactly. Guys, again, we can't thank you enough. It's been really fun. Yeah. And you should come to, when all this is over, you should come to our place. Because they haven't. That's right.
No.
Yes.
We did everything over the phone when we met. You guys were busy and everything. We just had a bunch of phone calls. And since we've moved, we moved on up to the east side. No, we're in Jersey City in the Heights, but a really, really swank building. So stop by anytime, when we're not quarantining.
Yeah, we have a really great espresso machine.
Yes.
Yeah. Cold brew coffee and
that too.
Yeah.
Big coffee guy here.
Yeah,
so.
Good.
All right. And an oven. So Marianna, hint.
We'll bring you guys bring the coffee. How about that?
Okay, sounds good. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye, guys.
See you. Bye-bye.
For those listening, guys, please subscribe. It really helps us. Rate us on Apple Podcast. And make sure to visit our website, podcast.livepicturestudios.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Live Picture Studios.
Email us at podcast@livepicturestudios.com or #LPS podcast with any questions that you might have, anything that you want us to share. Please let us know.
And hang out after, because we're going to play Daniel and Marianna's Same Day Edit.
Yeah, can't wait. This episode is powered by Kvibe Go Live. If you haven't been to the website, check out Kvibe Go Live. We're super on top of what's going on right now in the world, so I recommend that. And it has been produced by Kwa Lee, Natalia Delgado, Marcia Rosa, and Mark Falcon.
Our editor, Nicole Palmetti. Lovely editor. And music has been provided by Ian Post and Artlist.
All right, until next time. Bye.
Happy planning.
To my beautiful bride, Marianna, I couldn't have asked for a more perfect spouse to spend the rest of my life with.
We'll hold the sunlight in our hands.
You are the most caring, patient, and loving woman I know.
I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
You are the greatest gift from God to me, and an example proving that love knows no limits.
We don't look at marriage as a contract or an agreement between the bride and the groom. It is a covenant, and both Marianna and Danny are coming into covenant, but not with each other, with God.
We dream wonders, then we make them true.
Dear Daniel, I've always dreamed about this beautiful day, and I thank God for bringing us together.
I can hear the melody.
I look forward to spending time with you, and starting today, I get to spend the rest of my life with you as your wife.
We can, and we will.
I look forward to experiencing each day, getting closer to you, and I pray that God continues to bless our life together. I also pray that He grants you all the patience in the world in dealing with me every day. My apologies in advance. You inspire me to be better every day. Thank you for all that you do for me.
We can.
I love you beyond words, Marianna. See you at the altar.
I'm so excited to see the plans God has in store for us as we begin our life together. I love you more than words can ever explain. Love, Marianna.
Love, Danny.